Hey, what is up, guys? Alright, today I'm going to take you through a little bit of the action that happened on Christmas Day for the Tripp family. And whenever we put on a barbecue, the scavengers are out in their numbers, and but not going to have much luck in this household, at least not off my plate anyway. So Christmas, we're not the most festive sort of family. We don't really get into the spirit of Christmas too much, but the old man likes to put on a barbecue and puts on a pretty decent spread. So lots of things going. And as you can see, he likes to put on a lot of food. So you got sausages there. In that foil there is salmon and flathead, and then you've got steak as well. So plenty of meat. And then there's plenty of grapes and cherries and almonds, and he had some nice mango, and then a salad as well, and some bread rolls. So definitely a chance to go to town. So this was the first phase or first meal that I had. So it was the salmon and the flathead, the sausages, plenty of salad there. So tons of calories, and definitely more than what I'm used to. And then this was the second course. And so the steak, the sausages, some bread and onions, bit of cheese, that sort of thing. So definitely overate, and was couldn't move for the next 4 or 5 hours after that. So then this was my workout for the day on Christmas Day, about 4 or 5 hours later. So what I did was I started with close grip chins, and basically just seeing how many reps I could get, seeing where my strength was at, and just doing one set to failure. And I trained at Fitness Playground at Newtown for this workout, which is not normally my gym, but because I am a member of Fitness Playground, so I have access to the 3 gyms. But this one is a little bit hard to park sometimes, so don't often get down here. But it is a good little gym. It's got some good equipment, and it's a little bit different to the Marrickville one. And they've got these mag grips. The mag grips are good for your back training. So I started with the close grip pull down, and I'm using a supinated grip. So as you can see with the mag grip, it forces you to use that supinated grip. You can also get one that changes the grip. And then, so this is external rotation of your shoulder, where you can also have internal rotation. So external rotation of your shoulder means you're going to be able to get the lat a little bit shorter. So this is not as good as a hammer strength pull down machine. You can't really get the muscle too short, but is effective nonetheless. And this is doing it away from the machine, something that I learned from Justin Wessels. So the idea is to push your pelvis or your butt into the pad and lock it down. So then that forces you to really lock down your pelvis, and then from there it's all just scapular work. So worked up to a pretty decent weight, and then the last set just was a drop set, and just try to rep out with some lighter weight, and really try and fatigue the muscle from that angle, trying to work the shortened range of the lat, and trying to get as long a range of motion as possible. So next exercise is the one-arm dumbbell row. So this is one of my bread and butter exercises, starting with a lightweight here. So basically just trying to keep everything as still as possible, keep the pelvis and upper body as still as possible, and a slight arch in the back. So mostly up top, you want to be able to extend through your thoracic, and then it's all concentrating on what the scapula is doing. So trying to bring it forward as far as possible under control, and then just really bringing it back and squeezing it. So just working up with a little bit more weight here. And what I'm thinking is trying to get that scapula back and across as low as I can. So I'm aiming for my elbow to hit my hip in this exercise. So obviously, as the weight gets heavier, it gets a little bit harder to keep your body stable. But you want to maximize stability as much as possible to get the most out of the workout. One good cue with this exercise is to try and keep your chest up high, which will keep the extension through your thoracic, which I have a little bit of problem with sometimes. Sometimes I slouch because my thoracic extension isn't the best, but as you can see, I'm using pretty decent weight now, so there is a bit of movement, but that's only just because this is the heaviest weight I go, and this is as loose as my form gets. So then it was back to the chin-ups, and this time it was a wide grip chin-up, and basically working mostly the length and range and the upper back with this, and just seeing where my strength is at. With the chin-ups, always like to throw in the chins just to see where I'm at with my strength, and just it's a good way to challenge the muscle. So then using this unilateral cable pull down, so again working more the length and range, and as you can see, I turn my wrists out and I turn my shoulder into internal rotation at the top, and lift my scapula up. So what I'm trying to do from there is basically pull my scapula down as best as possible. And what that's going to do, or what what I'm attempting to try and do, is get a little bit stronger at the length and range, so as my scapula goes to the top. So mostly using upper back, upper lats and rhomboids and rear delts for this exercise, and trying to get that area nice and strong. So the pull downs that I did before was mainly for lower lats, and the one arm row was mainly for lower lats, and now I've moved on to more of an upper back movement. As you can see, I'm trying to go up nice and high, keeping the tension on all the time, and then coming down as far as I can and trying to retract the scapula down and back as far as I can. But as I fatigue, it becomes harder and harder. So then also threw in this exercise, just because this is a bit of a unique piece of equipment that you don't see at many gyms. It's a techno gym pull down. Techno gyms not the best equipment, but they do have some cool things just like this. You can get better versions of this machine, but what this does is just a bit of a different angle, and works the length and range really well, and you can get just that scapula down a little bit further. So working it, pulling the elbows out and then down and back, so it's a long range of motion with this machine. So it's a good one to throw in just at the end of the workout, hit a few different angles. So then it was on to more of a row for the upper back now, so using a little bit wider than a neutral grip, and it's a kind of internally rotated shoulder here. So again, more the lengthened and mid-range is what I'm aiming for here. And T-bar rows, I try and keep the form as tight as possible. I do have a tendency to round at the top of the round over at the top of the upper back, which is not the best, but something I'm working on. But just trying to sort of overload the muscle with this exercise. It's a good one where you can sort of go a little bit sloppy with the form, just to try and get a little bit more intensity into the workout. So as you can see, the form goes pretty ordinary at the end there, but that's all right. That was my last set, my heaviest set, and then it was just back to a seated row again, working more the lengthened and mid-range, and just trying to sort of rep out here and get some more scapular work done at a different angle in a sort of stricter style. So just finishing up with these, trying to hit sort of the middle of the back, and a little bit of rear delt as well. And then just finishing off with some rope pull downs. And a good cue with this exercise is trying to keep your chest up nice and high, and think about pulling the rope straight down, so not pulling the rope towards you. Eventually it's going to go towards you, but thinking pulling straight down and getting the most range of motion possible for your lats. Then it was on to deadlifts to finish up, and this is something that I'm going to be working really hard at in the off season, trying to get strong and trying to work on my hip mobility. So this is a lightweight, so it's just one plate, so it's pretty easy weight. So my form's pretty good on this, but mainly working on keeping those hips down and back at the start of the movement, because I have a tendency for my hips to come up and my upper back to round. So I'm trying to get stronger through the glutes and through the hips and keep them back and get a little bit more work in that area, and if I can get stronger in that, my overall deadlift will increase. So going up again in weight, and my form is still pretty good here. The upper back is rounded over a little bit. I'd like to be able to get that a little bit straighter, but just working at it one workout at a time. So I go a little bit higher in the reps with this sort of weight, just to make sure that I can practice the movement correctly and get as many reps in as I can while I'm still warming up. So then this is moving up again to 3 plates. This is where the weight starts to get a little bit heavy for me, and as you can see, that rep, the hips did come up a little bit earlier. So the cue that I'm aiming for here is trying to keep my shin bone straight up and down. So it has a tendency my knees to come forward and use more quads in this movement. So what I'm trying to do is keep that shin bone straight up and down and the hips back, and using more glutes and hamstrings. So then moving up again, this is now 160 kilos. So in the past I've done a lot more reps than this. I only got 5 this time, but was with a little bit not the best form. So my quads would have done a lot more work in the past and put a lot more pressure on my upper back. But I want to keep those hips down and get the glutes involved a little bit more and more lower back. And hopefully we'll be able to see this sort of weight go up pretty easy once those muscles start to get a bit stronger. So then it was on to the last set. I only got 3 reps with 180 kilos this time, so definitely looking to improve. If I can get that up to 5 or 6 reps, that would be pretty good at the end of the workout while I'm fatigued. But that's the end of the Christmas Day meal and workout for 2018, and hopefully more progress to come as I'm starting to my bulking phase and starting to try and put on some weight for my next competition. So follow me along, and I'll catch up with you guys again soon.